This is part 2, episode 134. Hui Yuhao's eyes had already turned completely grey by now. His pupils seemed to have dilated. He finally couldn't see Tang Wutong clearly anymore. There was only a blurry, pinkish-blue figure in front of him. I had 2 wishes in my life originally. My first wish was to avenge my mother. However, that has slowly faded away as time passed. That's because I've slowly realized that my hatred is diminishing. My mom wouldn't want me to avenge her. Furthermore, I can't do it. I really can't. My other wish is to get together with Donga. To live together with her. To wed her and have a few kids. To accompany my kids every day. That's all I want. As he spoke until here, Hui Yuhao's tears were already flowing from his eyes. He seemed to see himself and Wang Donga together, and their kids running not far away from them. Tang Wutong was in a daze as she looked at him. It was as if she had been completely immersed in his tragic story. 8. Long Xiaoyao's voice suddenly turned cold and stiff. Hui Yuhao plucked out the black dagger again. But when he stabbed himself once more, he had evidently lost his strength. He stabbed at his right chest, but the dagger swept across his rib. He had to exert force twice before it stabbed through his body. Right now, Tang Wutong's eyes had already turned hollow. She didn't even bother trying to stop him anymore. Hui Yuhao's voice was becoming weaker and weaker. It was trembling, and he was stuttering. Wutong, if you see someone that looks identical to you in the future, she might just be my Donga. Please take care of her, but don't tell her of everything between us. In fact, it's good if she forgets me. I'm too much of a burden. Perhaps she'll be happier without me. I'm happy as long as she's happy. Elder Long, I hope you stay true to your word. Don't make it difficult for her. Let her leave. 9. Hui Yuhao shouted out the last number on his own. His eyes suddenly brightened, and there was even a weird trace of light shining from his body. He plucked out the black dagger and stabbed it towards his heart. He remembered everything that had happened between him and Donga. Wasn't it sort of a relief for him? Right now, he only wanted to be free. Now, no one could stop him. Even Di Qian couldn't do so. This was because there was no sense of danger in his heart. Everything was done willingly. He really didn't want to live anymore. He felt very, very tired. There was a bitter look on his face right now. I'm sorry, my partners. I can only shirk my responsibilities this way. I'm not afraid of death. Death, to me, is like home. Donga has forgotten me, Chioa has died because of me, and I don't want revenge anymore. The Snow Empress, Ice Empress and Star Anise all have the origins of the manifold mysterious ice essence. They can help someone else to improve and become a god. Everything seems to be perfect. I can finally leave this world. I want to find my mother. Due to his terminal lucidity, Hui Yuhao's last stab was stronger than the earlier 8 stabs. No matter how strong he was, he would never be able to survive once this dagger stabbed into his heart. Tang Wutong collapsed completely when he stabbed himself again. She lost consciousness. Squelp. The sharp dagger stabbed into his flesh and penetrated it. He had 18 wounds on his body right now. Hui Yuhao's consciousness blurred. He couldn't control his body as it fell back. However, there was a smile on his face. It was a smile of freedom and relief. In this world, there was nothing he longed for anymore. It was as if it was time for him to go, because his time was up. Long Xiaoyao placed the unconscious Tang Wutong on the ground. He revealed a heavy look on his cold and elderly-looking face. What a passionate young man. He sighed slightly and took a step out before coming to Hui Yuhao's side. He slowly squatted down and grabbed the black dagger in his chest before pulling it out. Hui Yu Hao lay there without moving. His life energy seemed to have disappeared. Long Xiaoyao's eyes suddenly brightened. Their surroundings became dark and silent once again. Even the blood in Hui Yu Hao's body stopped following. In this silent and dark world, he was the only one who could move. He slowly lifted his right hand and pressed it on Hui Yu Hao's chest. He could clearly see streaks of black current fading from the 18 wounds on Hui Yu Hao's body. In a matter of seconds, the wounds were already covered in red. Light flashed in Long Xiaoyao's hands, and a white bead appeared in his palm. He pressed his other hand on Hui Yu Hao's chest, as if he was sensing something. After a brief moment, there was a satisfied look on his face. After this, he placed the bead in Hui Yu Hao's mouth. After completing all these, he bent over and carried Hui Yu Hao up to a cleaner place. He helped to strip his blood-stained shirt from his body. Hui Yu Hao stopped losing blood under the coagulation effect of the silent and dark domain. However, when his body was completely naked, his wounds were bared for the Dragon Emperor Doluo to see. A smile surfaced across Long Xiaoyao's face. If not for the fact that this dragon pill requires you to have no resistance, and that you must be in your absolute weakest state, why would I make you go through so much pain? Hi, to be honest, I was moved by you earlier, and almost couldn't lay my hands on you. It's just that Mu Yen made me do this. In fact, you wouldn't need this dragon pill if you weren't improving so quickly. However, the time seems to be right now. This is because I can't stop Shishure. I shall leave the responsibility of resisting the Holy Ghost Church to you. Young fellow, you must do your best. As he spoke, Long Xiaoyao moved his hands and turned Hui Yu Hao's body continuously. His wounds were quickly stitched up. However, he was still very pale from losing so much blood. However, it was at this moment that a layer of dim golden light was exuded from the dragon pill in his mouth. The golden halo spread down to his entire body. Long Xiaoyao also carried Tang Wutong over and placed her beside him. The smile on his face intensified. What a touching scene. If such a young lady doesn't fall for him, it'll be really weird. This young man is so dumb. Unless there are twins, how can you find two people who look so alike in this world? Surely there isn't a second three-eyed golden lion, right? If Hui Yu Hao were still alive, he would almost surely be shocked by Long Xiaoyao's words. Evidently, the Dragon Emperor Doluo was very aware of his matters. Sun Moon Empire. Radiant City. Imperial Palace. Xu Qianran quietly sat in a chair that was decorated with all types of treasures and rubies. Not far in front of him, Juzi was kneeling with one knee on the ground and her head was lowered. From the side, it was clear that she looked a little pale. Get up. It isn't fully your fault. Xu Qianran waved at her. Juzi lowered her head and said, Your Majesty, it's my mistake. If I were more alert, we wouldn't have suffered such heavy losses. We've lost soldiers and resources this time. Please punish me, Your Majesty. Xu Qianran stood up and walked in front of Juzi, lifting her up. He gently patted her shoulder and said, All right, it happened too abruptly. Who would have expected the soul beasts in the extreme north to suddenly turn violent? According to what you mentioned, there were at least 2 savage beasts attacking you. They are likely to be 2 of the 3 heavenly kings of the extreme north. It already wasn't easy for you to escape. The conditions in the extreme north are rigorous, unlike any other place. It's simply too harsh. It's a place that favors those ice-type soul beasts. It seems like we made a wrong strategic move this time, and ignored such an important aspect. Juzi continued to lower her head and said, I am guilty. Xu Qianran pulled her hand and walked all the way until the side, sitting down with her. What's the crime? Over the past year, you've given your all for me and the Empire. You've become much thinner. You've contributed so much to the Empire, and have risen quickly in the military. You are known as the female warrior of our military. What's a single mistake worth? No one is always victorious. When we fully occupy the Heavenly Soul and Doling empires, I'll let you command the entire military to destroy those soul beasts in the extreme north. Then, all the rare metals will still belong to us. With all those soul beasts around, I don't believe the Doling Empire will be able to obtain anything either. You don't have to think so much. Juzi lifted her head at this moment and was moved as she said, Your Majesty, thanks for sparing me. Shu Qianran smiled as he looked at her. After this, he sighed and said, The situation at the front line is very stable now. We have taken over most parts of the Heavenly Soul Empire. However, our forces are a little overwhelmed because of the Star Luo Empire. This was especially so during the earlier stages of the war, when a lot of our resources were drained, and we weren't able to supply enough reinforcements to the front line. Right now, we'll maintain the status quo and not rush into attacking further. Otherwise, we'll give the three empires opportunities if our fighting lines are overstretched. Juzi's confidence was restored when they began talking about the front line. She furrowed her brow slightly and commented, Although our fighting lines are a little overstretched now, the regions of the Heavenly Soul Empire that we've occupied are still considered quite stable. You are right. We must further stabilize the situation at the front line. We must quickly get rid of the problems that the Star Luo Empire is bringing us from the back to resolve the dilemma. I suggest that we ask the death god Doluo to attack the Mingdo mountain range once again, after we've accumulated further resources. We'll be able to threaten the Star Luo Empire then. It's only when we strengthen our defense at the Mingdo mountain range that we can continue to attack without any worries. Shu Qianran smiled and said, My Juzi is a brilliant strategist now. All those elders from the military are impressed by you. You'll arrange these strategies. I'll tell them to the rest every time we have a mission. Yes, Your Majesty. Your Majesty, please allow me to move off tomorrow and lead the Phoenix Soul Engineer Legion to kill the Star Luo Empire's Soul Masters. I'll clean them out in the fastest possible time and give the death god Doluo the opportunity to attack the Mingdo mountain range. Shu Qianran stood up. Along with the advancements of soul tool technology, the prosthetic legs that he had allowed him to become mobile. He shook his head gently and said, Juzi, while it's important, we can't finish it quickly. Leave it to someone else. I've already requested help from Zhongliwu from the Holy Ghost Church. The death god Doluo is holding the fort at the border. She's the anchor. The Star Luo Empire is only making trouble for us. It's fine. They can't accomplish anything. Juzi was moved and asked, Your Majesty, do you have something else for me to do? Shu Qianran nodded slightly and said, That's right. There's something important I need you to do. You're the only who can do it. Juzi quickly got up and kneeled down beside Shu Qianran before saying, Your Majesty, please instruct me. As long as I can do it, I'll do anything. Shu Qianran revealed a displeased look on his face and bent over to lift her up. Silly girl, I've told you many times that we're married now. You don't have to be so ceremonial in front of me. Why don't you listen to me? Juzi lowered her head and softly said, In my heart, you'll always be my master. I'm only your servant. My life belongs to you. As long as you need it, I'll even die for you without any hesitation. Even though Shu Qianran was an anti-hero, he was still a person. In his earlier years, his biological younger brother had tried to assassinate him, and he had almost died. Juzi had helped him escape even though she was hurt. All these years, he had many powerful people around him. However, he only trusted Juzi. Xu Qianran embraced her. I told you that you're my wife, not my servant. It's like that now, and it'll remain like this in the future. In the future, you'll command the masses. Juzi gently leaned on his shoulders and revealed a satisfied smile on her face. However, she was actually sighing in her heart. Your Majesty, do you really think I don't know your personality? If I don't appear obedient in front of you, you'll start to become skeptical. I understand you very well. This is why I must do this to earn your trust. Your Majesty, what do you want me to do? Xu Qianran turned serious and said, when you left this time, the officials submitted a petition for something. Juzi asked, what has left you so troubled? Who's the one who put you in a spot? I'll go, Anne. As she spoke until here, a cold look flashed across her eyes. Xu Qianran shook his head and said, if it were anything else, who would dare to threaten me? However, this matter can't shut everyone's mouth. They want me to bear the crown prince while I'm at the peak of my reign. After hearing the words crown prince, Juzi couldn't help but tremble. She subconsciously lifted her head to look at Xu Qianran. Xu Qianran revealed a bitter smile on his face. You're the only one who knows my secret. How can I bear a crown prince? Ever since I took over the throne, you have been my only empress. Apart from you, I don't have any other concubines. In the eyes of others, I appear to be very loyal to you. However, you know the true reason. Juzi naturally knew that Xu Qianran was infertile, because of the injury he had sustained. He didn't need concubines at all. On the other hand, having concubines might make things worse. This concerned his dignity as an emperor and as a man. Juzi didn't say anything. She didn't know what to say. This concerned Xu Qianran's face. Xu Qianran pondered and said, right now, I need to have a kid. It has to be a male to shut everyone's mouth. Even if it's not, I don't think they'll say anything much, as long as there's a kid. This is why you must remain in the palace for some time. You're still the commander of the 3 armies, but don't personally enter the battlefield temporarily. Bear me a child first. This, Juzi was a little dazed as she looked at Xu Qianran. After she was stunned for a moment, she lowered her voice and asked, Your Majesty, do you want us to adopt one? Xu Qianran shook his head and snorted coldly, those old fellows are watching me. How can I adopt and keep things from them? They have people in the infirmary. We can't mess this up. This is why we must make it real. Do you still remember? I mentioned that we can't artificially inseminate you. Even though I can't speak to anyone of this, I can still request a relative to find a seedling for you. This kid will be my heir. Juzi was horrified. She turned around and kneeled once again. No, Your Majesty. No, I can't do that. How can I bear someone else's child? I'm your Juzi, and will only be your Juzi. No, I don't agree. Xu Qianran was a little stunned, and was also a little touched as he looked at Juzi. This was the first time she had dared to resist his orders ever since he had saved her. However, this resistance stroked his ego. If possible, no one will want his wife to have someone else's kid. However, I have no choice. I can only do this to shut everyone up. I've even selected the candidate. He's an authentic bearer of the royal blood lineage, and he's a distant cousin of mine. Due to a mutation of his martial soul, he's not even a soul master now, and he holds a very lowly position in the royal family. Apart from you, no one else must know about this. I'll ask someone to teach you how to carry it out. After that, you'll retrieve the seedling from his body and implant it into your own body. After that, he'll be killed. No one will know this secret then. Don't worry, I am infertile. The child you bear will be ours. I'll treat him like our biological son. When I turn 100 years, he'll inherit the throne. Perhaps we might rule the entire Doluo continent by then. Juzi lifted her head and looked at Shu Qianran pitifully. Your Majesty, is there no other way? I am really unwilling to do this. Shu Qianran's expression turned cold and he said, all right, that's final. Do you really think I want to do this? I feel heartache doing it too. All right, with that sort of plan, you'll be touched by another guy. Go and prepare first. I'll get someone to teach you how to do it, and I'll get the imperial physician to take a look at your body. These few days are the best time for you to be impregnated. Yes. Juzi shuddered a little and eventually agreed to his words. She kowtowed to him respectfully. Shu Qianran's expression turned gentler. He lifted her up for the third time and patted her back. Silly girl, don't think too much. I already told you that I'll treat the child you bear as our own. Only I have the right to be his father. You can go now. Yes, Your Majesty. Juzi indignantly made her way out, after bowing to Shu Qianran. After exiting, a heavy look gradually appeared on Juzi's face. However, there was a cold intent that flashed across her eyes. Shu Qianran, why didn't I realize that I'll only be your pawn? Even the closest pawn is still a pawn. When Hui Yuhao regained consciousness, he was stunned to discover that he was in a clean room. The room also looked very familiar to him. Everything around him was familiar, including the aura. Where am I? He was a little puzzled. Everything that had happened earlier replayed itself in his memories. Didn't I meet the Darkness Holy Dragon and Dragon Emperor Doluo, Long Xiaoyao? Wasn't I stabbed 9 times because of his threat? But why don't I feel any pain? He subconsciously touched his body, and was astonished to discover that there weren't any wounds at all. He then circulated his soul power. His body drifted up above his bed, and there were suddenly strong soul power undulations in the room. This? Hui Yuhao was shocked as he sensed everything. He discovered that this soul power was like a strong wave. Just by circulating it slightly, it was actually surging. What's going on? Where exactly am I? Bang! The door opened. A figure rushed in. Wasn't she Nan Qiuqiu? When she saw Hui Yuhao sitting up, Nan Qiuqiu was delighted. Ah, Yuhao, you're awake. You're finally awake. What happened exactly? You were unconscious for 7 days. Hui Yuhao looked at her and was shocked as he asked, am I really alive? Nan Qiuqiu took a few steps forward and pinched his arm with force. Ayo, what are you doing? Hui Yuhao screamed in pain. If you know that it's painful, it obviously means that you aren't in a dream. Of course you aren't dead. Nan Qiuqiu snapped. Hui Yuhao laughed bitterly. It's already not easy for me to come back alive, but you still pinched me so hard. Are you still human? Nan Qiuqiu furrowed her brow and placed her hands on her waist. She was furious. How dare you mention it? You didn't even bring me on your adventure to Heaven Do City. How did Tang Wutong find you the moment she was there? Didn't you say that she isn't Donga? After hearing her mention Tang Wutong, Hui Yuhao was stunned and asked, did she send me back? Is she fine? How would I know? Nan Qiuqiu said coldly, she dumped you here before leaving. She didn't say anything at all, as if she were dumb. Hui Yuhao furrowed his brow and sighed in his heart. Tang Wutong isn't Donga after all. Although I don't know why I'm alive, it seems like the Dragon Emperor Doluo still let her off in the end. It's just that I was critically hurt then, and my life energy was about to fully disappear. Now that I think of it, it seemed like the last stab was blocked by something before it reached my body. That prevented my heart from being struck. Don't tell me the Dragon Emperor Doluor did it intentionally. He's the only one who could do that at that point in time. However, how did I survive? My injuries were so critical. Furthermore, I don't even feel any pain now. On the other hand, my soul power even seems to have improved. I feel as if I have touched a bottleneck. What exactly is going on? Hu Yuhao was filled with doubts as he climbed up from the bed. He moved his body. Indeed, it was filled with strength. Everything felt unbelievably good. It was good to be alive. Furthermore, Hu Yuhao felt that a lot of the pressure on him had been relieved after he went through that near-death experience. The look in his eyes was much more vibrant compared to before. He couldn't help but think of what Wang Donga had said to him. Relieving stress from time to time was good for cultivation. Yes, I've really been under a lot of pressure. I didn't expect this to relieve so much pressure, although the way it was done wasn't very nice. Hey, what are you thinking of? Nan Qiuqiu was displeased as she questioned Hu Yuhao, seeing that he had gone quiet all of a sudden. Hu Yuhao shook his head and said, nothing. All right, Qiuqiu, how was I when I returned? Nan Qiuqiu answered, pretty good. You were just in a coma. There was nothing else really. Tang Wutong didn't say anything else. She just seemed very confused. Eldest senior didn't probe further upon seeing that you were fine. I was fine when I returned. My wounds disappeared. It seems like I can only ask Tang Wutong to know what's going on. Qiuqiu, I'll go and see eldest senior first. As he spoke, he walked out. Nan Qiuqiu chased after him and said, don't forget what you promised me. Teacher Xian seems to be very excited after seeing the metal that you brought back. Oh right, don't worry. You won't be excluded. Hu Yuhao smiled. When Hu Yuhao saw Bei Bei was dealing with a lot of things. Seeing him entering, Bei was delighted before his expression sank. Little junior, you are really incorrigible. I won't let you leave the sect easily no matter what. Every time you leave, you have to get into some trouble. Tell me, what happened this time? Why were you in a coma, and Wutong had to bring you back? She didn't want to say anything. Surely you can tell me what's going on, right? Hu Yuhao laughed as he said, eldest senior, don't be angry. Nothing happened really. I went to Heaven-Do City to capture an evil soul master, as well as to find out where teacher Xiao Ya and sister Xiao Dao are at. I searched the city. They aren't there. After that, I met a strong opponent when capturing an evil soul master, which drained me. I might have fallen into a coma because of that. Oh yes, I almost forgot. When he mentioned the evil soul master, Hu Yuhao immediately thought of two important questions. He wondered if the evil soul master he had sealed in his storage-type soul tool was alive after so many days. In addition, the Ice Bear King could still be in Heaven-Do City. What's wrong? Bei jumped in shock when he heard Hu Yuhao shout. Hu Yuhao didn't say anything, but hurriedly poured in his soul power into his storage-type soul tool. A light flashed before an ice statue appeared in front of him. Hu Yuhao's ultimate ice had improved compared to before. He had frozen the evil soul master for at least 7 to 8 days, but there weren't any signs that it was going to melt. It wasn't even damaged in the slightest. The evil soul master that was frozen was still astonished, and even terrified. Bei was stunned as he asked, "This is an evil soul master you caught?" Hu Yuhao nodded and replied, "Yes. It took me quite a lot of effort to capture this fellow." When he faced the darkness holy dragon, he wasn't fearful at all. However, now that he thought of it, he was actually pretty terrified then. When it came to Long Xiaoyao's cultivation, it was not something that he could surveil using his spiritual detection. This was because Long Xiaoyao was spiritually much stronger than him. It was very easy for him to unleash a spiritual barrier that kept out Hu Yuhao's spiritual power. Hu Yuhao had no way of dealing with Long Xiaoyao directly. Of course, Long Xiaoyao's spiritual power was stronger than his in terms of absolute volume rather than the level of it. Hu Yuhao's spiritual power had reached the concrete material realm. Even the Dragon Emperor Doluo wasn't at that realm yet. This was the advantage of a spiritual type soul master. Just like Long Xiaoyao had said, if Hu Yuhao purely cultivated his spirit eyes to the standard of a transcendent Doluo, he might actually be able to fight him. In fact, Hu Yuhao had the confidence of challenging Long Xiaoyao when he considered his ultimate ice. Bei Bei came to Hu Yuhao's side. When he saw the ice-sealed evil soul master, he couldn't bother with blaming Hu Yuhao anymore. After all, it was possible to obtain information about Tang Ya from this evil soul master. Even though he was normally very composed, his breathing got heavier now. Bei Bei lowered his voice and asked, "Can he still recover after being frozen?" Hu Yuhao said, "He'll be fine if it's within the short term. However, he has been frozen for quite a while. I didn't expect to be unconscious for so long. Now I'm not confident anymore. However, logically speaking, I still have a chance. After all, this evil soul master is a soul sage. Even if he's frozen, his soul power can still protect his body. Let me give it a try." As he spoke, Hu Yuhao lifted his right hand and pressed against the ice statue. Gentle ice elements were sucked out under his meticulous control, fusing into his body. This was his second time circulating his soul power after waking up from his coma. Right now, he was much more aware than he had been when he had just woken up. Suddenly, he felt how consolidated his soul power was. It wasn't just his soul power. His spiritual power had increased too. His soul core had become more and more abstruse, as if it were one with the boundless sky around it. This soul core could devour all like a black hole. What did Long Xiaoyao do to me? Why do I feel such an obvious improvement in my powers? No, when I'm free, I'll need to take a look in the academy and see how strong my soul power has become. The ice statue slowly melted under Hu Yuhao's immaculate control. However, no water dripped out. Under Hu Yuhao's control, the ice elements vaporized into the air as soon as the ice melted. This was why the room seemed a little moister than usual. Slowly, the ice disappeared. The original form of the evil soul master was also revealed. His complexion became softer, but his bodily functions were still not working. Very soon, the ice melted completely. Hu Yuhao's eyes turned dim gray, and he muttered a few incantations. After this, he smacked the evil soul master's left chest. It was his third martial soul, his necromancer martial soul. Hu Yuhao couldn't use his ultimate ice, or spirit ice spiritual power, to summon this evil soul master. Otherwise, the other party would develop a great resistance against it due to the massive difference in the elemental types, and it would harm him. At such a moment, the powers of his necromancer martial soul would be useful. To some extent, a part of Hu Yuhao's powers belonged to the same origins as evil soul masters, when he used his necromancer martial soul. A dark and sinister power surged into the evil soul master's body, stimulating his heart. The pressure exerted on his heart caused his blood to flow once again. Under Hu Yuhao's control, his blood started to flow with some rhythm once again. After this, Hu Yuhao started to summon his brain. Everything around him became distorted. Hu Yuhao was using his imitation right now. His imitation combined with his spiritual interference domain, causing the lights in Bei Bei's office to dim. In addition, the entire room was filled with a sinister aura. Hu Yuhao shot a look at Bei Bei. Bei Bei nodded and called Nan Qiuqiu to a dark corner of the room. Although she didn't know what Hu Yuhao was going to do, she knew that he must have some plan to deal with the evil soul master. Just like what Hu Yuhao had mentioned, the life energy of an evil soul master, who was a soul sage, was very strong. This evil soul master's heartbeat was slowly returning to normal. It was enough to send blood to all parts of his body. He was also slowly regaining his awareness. Hu Yuhao was delighted. It seemed like this evil soul master hadn't suffered any real harm. In this way, he was more confident in waking this evil soul master from his sleep. His vital signs were all fine. He wasn't too heavily hurt from Hu Yuhao's ultimate ice. Hu Yuhao retrieved a huge black veil from his storage-type soul tool before he put it on. He felt even more sinister and mysterious right now. Dim grayish air currents revolved around him. As he lifted his left hand, he used his imitation to form a magic staff with a skull-shaped gem at the top of it. He stood there silently and waited. Finally, that evil soul master slowly regained consciousness. When he opened his eyes, he suddenly felt that he was in a comfortable environment. Furthermore, there were even rings of air revolving around him, supporting his body so that he didn't fall. Where is this place? He was evidently a little confused, as he had just awoken. Hu Yuhao's voice became low-pitched and hoarse. He coldly said, "Are you asking where you are?" As he spoke, he snorted, and his immense spiritual power gently touched the evil soul master's head. The evil soul master was shocked, and immediately regained even further awareness. When he saw Hu Yuhao and the grayish current around him, he was shocked. Hu Yuhao was exuding a very strong spectral aura. Right now, the undulations that Hu Yuhao had managed to imitate were actually those of a titled Doluo. He was the most adept at this. He was imitating his own teacher, Electrolux, right now. Even though he didn't have the same divine sense as Electrolux, he could still imitate his aura. This evil soul master wasn't fully conscious, and his soul power was still in the process of recovery. His senses weren't very acute. It was like the break of dawn, when someone just woke up from their sleep. He only felt as if Hu Yuhao were extremely strong, but his aura was the same. It was the aura of evil soul masters. The evil soul master was unsure as he asked, You are. You don't need to know who I am. Hu Yuhao said coldly, you just need to tell me what happened. Why did you faint by the side of the palace? Who knocked you out? The evil soul sage subconsciously answered, a soul sage invaded the palace and killed one of my subordinates. After I discovered him, I immediately chased him. I gained the upper hand at first, but that person suddenly turned around. I fell into a trance before my entire body felt very cold. After that, I don't know what happened. Are you telling the truth? Did you miss anything? Hu Yuhao said coldly. At the same time, he was also silently unleashing his spiritual power to influence the evil soul sage's mind. Of course I am. Who exactly are you? The evil soul sage seemed to clear his mind at this moment. He also looked a little skeptical as he looked at Hu Yuhao. You don't have to care who I am. Hu Yuhao answered, I already said that knowing more won't help you. You just need to know that sect leader Zhong Li sent me over to supervise all of you. You're from the Imperial Shrine. The evil soul sage seemed to have heard something terrifying, and his voice started trembling. Imperial Shrine. Hu Yuhao was moved. He seemed to remember people calling the Holy Ghost Church that before. Then Long Xiaoyao seems to be a member of the Imperial Shrine. He must hold a high position too. It's good that you know. Tell me, what else have you missed? Also, what does the person who knocked you out look like? The evil soul sage laughed bitterly. I really don't remember, sir. Since you can't remember, I'll help you do so. Don't resist, otherwise you'll bear the ramifications. As he spoke, Hu Yuhao started reciting incantations. His voice became low-pitched and hoarse, but there seemed to be some special magical power about it. The evil soul sage looked at him dumbfoundedly, and let him recite his incantations. Bei Bei also started to break out in a sweat. This guy is too brazen. Although I don't know what he's doing, trouble might brew if that evil soul sage fights back and attacks him. However, Hu Yuhao was very good at this. In addition, his necromancer abilities were too similar to those of evil soul masters, such that the evil soul sage threw away his doubts after sensing Hu Yuhao's strong necromantic aura. Hu Yuhao's aura was simply too strong. He couldn't resist at all. Moreover, the imperial shrine was very respected in the Holy Ghost Church. The evil soul sage wasn't in any position to put up any resistance. A layer of pale white light drifted up from Hu Yuhao's body as he started reciting incantations. Slowly, this pale white light formed flames, which started burning between him and the evil soul sage. The evil soul sage felt his spirit being sucked away, just by taking a look. Slowly, he began to appear very dazed and lost. He seemed to enter a very weird state, as if he had lost his spirit. This was the fire of spiritual control. It was a strong spell that Electrolux had once used to control some powerful individuals before. However, this spell caused a great backlash too. Unless the other party's cultivation was far weaker, even Electrolux wouldn't use it easily. Although the evil soul sage had around the same soul power cultivation as Hu Yuhao, their spiritual powers were vastly different. Moreover, the evil soul sage was still very weak after he was unfrozen. How could he possibly resist the fire of spiritual control? What is your name? Hu Yuhao asked coldly. I am called Chu Yang Wei. The evil soul master replied dazedly. What is your mission in the Heavenly Soul Empire? Hu Yuhao asked. My mission is to aid the Nightmare Doluor and supervise the Sun-Moon Empire's control over the Heavenly Soul Empire. At the same time, I'm here to gather more resources. I am to listen to the Nightmare Doluor's instructions. Where are the two holy ladies? After preparing for so long, Hu Yuhao finally asked the question he was most concerned about. In the corner, Bei Bei also clenched his fists and stared at Chu Yang Wei. This video will end here.